Yes guys, my name is Bobby. Nice to meet you. I am actually currently living in Thailand, but I did live in Japan for 5 years. I therefore follow the Japan social media sphere, incidents in Japan, online talking points in Japan, and I did see a video a couple of days ago of a YouTuber attacked by a tout in Kabukicho. I've actually seen this guy's videos before. I made a video myself about 2 years ago called Gyms in Japan Are the Worst, talking about some terrible experiences I had when using Japanese gyms, and he commented saying, I've actually made a video basically the same, and complete coincidence, his video had about 100 times more views than mine, so good for him. But I've actually seen some of his videos. He seems like an alright guy. But I wanted to comment on the conversation of these touts in not just Kabukicho, but places like Roppongi, the backside of Ikebukuro. Share some of my experiences with them, because my experiences, what I'm about to discuss, actually happened before this social media was quite what it is today. I've been to Japan for about 15 years now, so even though you learn things on the spot when you are there, and obviously we had the internet back then, I'm not claiming I'm from the 80s, but you weren't getting all these type of viral incidents that were shedding light on such things. So I think if there is a conversation to be had, I have a little bit of knowledge to add. So let me tell you my 3 stories involving these touts and why I think it's important that if you are a tourist, especially, because I think most people who live there know who these people are, what is happening, how they work. But I think because Japan is so extremely safe, such a safe country, I think some people can be confused into thinking that like there is zero danger, and these incidents that I found myself in, at least 2 of them did present very real danger. So the first incident is I went to Japan for a job interview before I moved there about 2015. It was actually, I actually got a Facebook memory of a picture of me in Shibuya on that trip about 10 years ago this month. And Manchester United were playing at night time, probably about 10 p.m. And I had a flight at something like 6 o'clock in the morning. So my plan was find somewhere to watch the game, chill out for a couple of hours, head over to Tokyo Station, get that bus, that airport night limousine bus to the airport, and then hang out until the morning. And I actually didn't know much about Kabukicho at that time. So I knew it was just a busy area. I saw a busy area when I've been through Shinjuku with people, with bars, etc. So I'm walking through at night time, and I see a little Irish Guinness sign. I'm like, that's got to be a sports bar. I go in, lo and behold, there it is. The game is on the TV. I have one drink. I'm sat there. There's nobody in this bar except one guy who's sat about 2 seats down from me. And even though I've kind of had a long day and I just want to mind my own business, watch the game and then bounce out, this guy starts talking to me. He's chatting to me for the entire game. He is literally there next to me for like 60, 70 minutes of this game. Now, full-time blows, I'm thinking, right, where to now? How do I get back over towards Tokyo Station? And he follows me out. I'm like, nice to meet you, mate. Have a good night. He's like, where you going now, man? And I'm like, I've got to go to the station. He's like, you want to have some fun before you go? He gets this little black book out of his pocket. He opens it with explicit pictures of girls inside. Each page, he's just flipping through like it's a K's catalogue. I don't know if anyone remembers K's catalogue from when we were kids back in the UK. The lingerie section for an 8-year-old boy was an exciting feeling, but this was not an exciting feeling. It felt dark, it felt dirty, it felt seedy. I was like, no thank you, mate, I've got to bounce. So that was not necessarily life-threatening. He didn't push it beyond that. Now, the next incident I had with these touts actually took place a couple of years prior to that. And again, I wasn't fully aware of Kabukicho and what it's renowned for, believe it or not, at that time. Me and my friends were meeting his friend in Shinjuku, and we were actually walking, and we were right by the robot cafe, the famous robot cafe, and we were kind of just stood there figuring out where we're going, etc. All tourists at the time. We kind of stood in a little triangle. Suddenly a guy pushes his way into our group. There's literally, it went from 3 of us to 4 of us, and he's like, what you guys up to? And we're like, cool, we're cool, mate, we're just figuring out our plan. And then he gets literally a bag of white powdery substance in his hand. Now, when I say dangerous, this in Japan is not like the Western world. I'm sure there's some people who do these types of things, but the rules are not quite as accepting, as crazy as that sounds, as they are in places like the US and America. If you are caught with anything on you, you are going to be in big trouble. So obviously we rejected this advance, but if you are a tourist who is into that type of thing, I highly suggest that you reject those cravings for the one trip. Do not touch that shit, because you don't know who's hanging around. You don't know even who they're working with. They might be testing people, etc. I don't think the Japanese are like evil like that, but what I'm saying is you don't know what's happening. You are completely out of your element. So if you are then offered a dodgy white substance in a small plastic bag by a random man in the street, please reject that advance and just move on with your day, with your night. It's a much safer option. Finally, incident number 3, it took place about a year after I'd actually moved to Japan. Now, by this time, I kind of knew Kabukicho. I kind of knew what it was known for, not necessarily how it operated, but what happens there. But there are a couple of hubs there, and for anyone who doesn't know, hubs are British-themed pubs that are all over Japan. And good price drinks, decent atmosphere, cheap and cheerful, kind of like a Wetherspoons in the UK type thing. Me and a couple of friends from work, we had been drinking all night. It was a leaving party for someone, and 3 of us out of the group decided to continue the night, and we ended up in this said underground hub in Kabukicho. It's not where the Godzilla statue is with the Don Quixote, that famous crossing. It's kind of, if you go to the right and take a left, it's just there near the corner. There is an entranceway, and as with most of the hubs, it goes down underground. There's people of all nationalities around us. Everybody's having a good time, but suddenly, out of nowhere, I feel myself losing focus, losing consciousness, and I honestly do not know what happened to this day, but I lost not just one day in terms of a hangover. I've been drinking all night. I lost 2 days. Both of those days were a write-off. Now, I don't know if something got put in my drink. I don't know if I was spiked, but it was one of the worst feelings I've ever experienced in my life. And when I was looking at my phone the next day, which was in my pocket, I don't think these people are out to mug you. I was looking through the pictures, and there's a picture of me with this guy. And I've got no idea who this guy is, but he's there in several of the pictures. Again, one of these touts, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I can't confirm that. I can't say it 100%. But I have heard stories that these touts get you in the bars. I've heard stories of people having their drinks spiked. Once their drink is spiked, they're out of the game. They're threatened. All of their money is taken. A terrible, vulnerable situation. The police won't help them because basically they theoretically brought it on themselves. Plus, by the time they figured out what's happened, it's too late. It's too late to prove anything. So I would say, if you come into contact with these guys, just move on. In the video that is online right now, obviously this guy isn't even in contact with them. He's just walking through, talking to his camera. He gets smacked on the back of the head. But if you see any of these guys, keep your distance. Don't entertain any conversations. Don't think of it as a cute tourist gimmick to speak to these touts, to ask them some questions, to get some, dirty little viral moments that you can post on TikTok, Instagram later, because you could find yourself in trouble. Just move on. Avoid those areas if you can, but if not, just keep on moving. Do not inconvenience yourself and stay safe. Otherwise, Japan is a great country, and I'm sure you'll have no problems. Cheers for watching.